Welcome back to the Win Big Sports Talk and Sports Betting Podcast. I'm your host, Gabriel Schry. Going to get into picks right away this week. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at WBSN Sports. Follow me at SchryGuy, SCHRAYGUY. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Anchor FM, be sure to watch the video edition of the podcast to see the clips of the week. You can cut out the middleman and go straight to YouTube or visit us at WBSNsports.com. Picks from last week. Well, how did we finish? How did we do? Let's take a look at it. 15-4 overall last week. That included Baylor, UTSA, Tulane, Cincinnati, Penn State, Wake Forest, Oregon, TCU, Alabama, South Carolina, Clemson, Tennessee, Ohio State, Appalachian State, Chattanooga, and Liberty all winning their games. It means I'm 102-25 overall picking college football games on the season. And for this week's picks, we're going to get right into it. A couple of unranked games first. First one up is Arkansas at Auburn. That's a 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick on Saturday. Definitely going with the Razorbacks. The talent from their side is superior to the Tigers. They'll have an edge right off the bat in this SEC contest. Arkansas can gain some much-needed momentum, and they're likely to secure 2 straight wins here, starting with this one, as far as I'm concerned anyhow. My score pick in that one, 34-25, Arkansas wins it. Next up, Rutgers at Minnesota, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick if you want to watch that one. This is an important game for both teams. They're trying to stay over 500 and keep their names in bowl contention. The Scarlet Knights don't have much to lose facing a Gophers team that's lost 3 straight games. I don't think that the Gophers are going to let Rutgers go back home with a win. If the same Minnesota team from recent weeks shows up, it may be a little close for comfort for them, but I think they'll get the victory here in Big Ten play. My score pick, 25-21. Virginia Tech at number 24, NC State, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. Seems like Virginia Tech has just the same thing every year. It's just enter the Sandman, and that's pretty much all they got. The Hokies are 2-5 on the season. They're on a 4-game losing streak. That's not changing. A hostile crowd, an outstanding defense will put the Wolfpack over the Hokies. Maybe closer than advertised, but Virginia Tech will have trouble getting through that defense all night long. My score pick, 24-13 in that one. Pittsburgh and the Panthers at number 21. North Carolina and the Tar Heels, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick on that one. Defending ACC champions, the Pittsburgh Panthers have definitely had what I would describe as an underwhelming season. Pitt lost a lot of talent, an incredible run last year. They look to restock in the offseason, the addition of Slovis, and he's already been a significant contributor, but it hasn't been enough. North Carolina is gaining confidence and beating conference opponents just like this. Behind promising signal caller Drake May, UNC has an undefeated 3-0 record in conference, so I think they're going to keep that up here. My score pick, 32-26, North Carolina going to win this one. Number 20, Cincinnati at UCF, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick if you want to tune into that one. I'm rolling with Cincy here. The Knights' toughest matchup of the season. They're just so good. UCF's schedule has been extremely weak. They haven't really faced any polished teams, and the Bearcats are just that. They're polished. If they can stack the box and stop UCF's running capability, Cincinnati will secure a win and move up in the national rankings. My score pick, 27-23 in that one. Number 17, Illinois, traveling to Nebraska, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. I'm going with the Fighting Illini. They might be the biggest surprise team of the 2022 season. It ended the 2021 campaign with a 5-7 record, but they're looking much improved. They're 6-1 at the moment. Chase Brown has carried a lot of the load. He's at over 100 yards in each game. Most football fans are familiar with Nebraska's ongoing struggles. The Cornhuskers gained a little bit of momentum by beating Indiana and Rutgers in back-to-back weeks, but their most recent match was a loss to Purdue and the Boilermakers. Home field advantage will help them out, but it doesn't seem like they've got what they need to beat Illinois. My score pick in this one, 28-18, Illinois going to win that one. Notre Dame at number 16, Syracuse, it's the Orange, and that's a 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. I'm going with the Orange for sure. They're in the midst of one of the best seasons in program history. They're 6-1 on the year, 3-1 in the conference. Syracuse started the season on a 6-game winning streak, which may have looked to be down on a weak schedule, but last week's battle against Clemson showed the Orange can hang with just about anyone. They'll face an average Fighting Irish squad at home with hunger to get back in the win column, and I think that hunger is going to lead to a win for Cuse over Notre Dame. My score pick, 36-24. We'll see how that shakes out. I got a lot of friends that are Orange fans and a lot of friends that are Fighting Irish fans, so probably going to get some flack for that pick. Number 15, Ole Miss at Texas A&M, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick if you want to tune in. Head coach Jimbo Fisher is responsible for leading one of the most disappointing teams of this season. The Aggies are 3-4, a 1-3 conference record. They're hosting the run-heavy Rebels, who are desperate to win after a 3-game skid. Ole Miss has had a successful year, averaging 38 points per game, but no opponent has been able to find the key to hold the Rebels back and hold them down. But a helpful component can be Texas A&M's 12th man. The crowd, the hunger for victory, I think they're going to win this one. It'll be close, though. Score pick, 32-28, Texas A&M winning. Number 14, Utah battling Washington State, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. The Utes, they've had some bumps on the road through the 22 season, losses to Florida and UCLA, but they've continued to be a threat for a Pac-12 title. They knocked off USC last weekend to give the Trojans their first taste of defeat. Washington State moving through the success of former FCS quarterback Cameron Ward, but connection issues with receivers and the offensive line. They're on a 2-game losing streak because of that. Can they snap it? I don't know about this week. My score pick, Utah winning 32-21 in that one. Stanford at number 12, UCLA, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick if you want to tune into that one. Looks like UCLA reached its final destination last weekend, losing its first game of the season and coming to an immediate halt. The Bruins don't have much of an exciting resume, but a game against the Cardinals at home is almost a surefire chance to get back to victory. We'll see if they can do it. Stanford is back on its feet after starting the season 1-4, but they don't have the talent or consistency to take down the Bruins on the road, in my opinion. My score pick, 37-27, UCLA winning that one over Stanford. Number 10, Wake Forest, Demon Deacons at Louisville battling the Cardinals, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. This game is predicted to be a real close matchup, possibly a coin toss, according to ESPN at least. That shouldn't be the case given Wake Forest's efficient offense against a weak secondary. Louisville will be playing at home in this matchup, but that's not enough to knock off the number 10 team in the country, at least in my opinion. Quarterback Malik Cunningham should have a good performance, but the Cardinals' defense is the biggest issue in this scenario, which will push the Demon Deacons over Louisville. My score pick, 34-23 in that one. A little close, but not super. Number 10, USC at Arizona, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. The Trojans tested their luck against a seasoned Utah team on the road, came out with their first loss of the season in Week 8. Caleb Williams and the offense were electric, and that won't stop. Williams recorded 5 touchdowns and 381 yards against the best team they've played so far. The Wildcats are average. They've got a fine duo at quarterback and wide receiver, crowning outside. Arizona can put up points on the board, but their low-grade defense going against one of the best offenses in the nation shouldn't end well for the Wildcats. My score pick is 40-21. We'll see if that comes true. Number 9, Oklahoma State at number 22. Kansas State, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. Oklahoma State is in the spotlight. The Cowboys have quality wins against Texas and Baylor. They field a phenomenal dual-threat offense with quarterback Spencer Sanders. I don't know. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Oklahoma State's going to come away with a fairly big win. They'll be playing the Wildcats, and that's a squad that loves to pound their offense through the runs. So the game will be more on the consistent weapons this weekend. We'll see. Oklahoma State's talent and experience probably going to put them on top in my mind, even if the Wildcats have a healthy quarterback room. My score pick is going to be 39-27, Oklahoma State winning that one. Number 8, Oregon at California, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. The Ducks are winning that one. They're averaging 43 points per game, well, just under, and over 500 yards of offense per game. California is the opposite side of that streak. They've lost their last 3 games to conference opponents. The Bears started the season 3-1, and everything quickly hit a downward spiral. So I think the Ducks got a big edge here. 48-20 is my score pick. Number 7, TCU at West Virginia, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick on that one. The Horned Frogs are playing with their heads on fire. They're riding a 7-game win streak and one of the few undefeated teams in all of college football. After warming up with 3 mediocre opponents to begin the season, TCU has taken down 4 straight ranked teams. It'll be heading to Morgantown, a place that lives through college football year by year. The Mountaineers are still the underdogs in this matchup. They have the ability to put the ball in the end zone, but WVU's defense is abysmal. They've given up almost 34 points per game this season. So the environment might give TCU some trouble, but not enough to break that incredible streak. My score pick is 35-23, TCU winning that one. This is a fun one. Michigan State at number 4. Michigan, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. One of the best in-state rivalries in all of college football and all of sports is set to kick off on Saturday night in Ann Arbor. The undefeated Wolverines hosting the 3-4 Spartans on primetime. Michigan is levels ahead of MSU talent-wise, but a rivalry like this always calls for a close game. The Wolverines are heavy favorites with a high-scoring offense led by the incredible run play ability through Blake Corum. Michigan State has struggled to put points on the board, and that won't sit well against a team that's averaged over 40 points on the season. The nerves may kick in for both teams, though, so the Wolverines should run up the score. My score pick in this one is 33-24, Michigan winning it. We'll see. Number 19, Kentucky at number 3, Tennessee, the Volunteers, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. Following a bye week, the Wildcats are in Knoxville on Rocky Top to face arguably the hottest team in the nation. Similar to Georgia's matchup, the Volunteers have their eyes set on the college football playoff. They can't afford to stumble on any home opportunities. Kentucky has been very impressive at times this season, but a streaky offense won't get it past Tennessee. Even if the Volunteers got the best version of the Wildcats, Tennessee is just too talented to lose these types of games. The Volunteers' offense is on a tier of its own, and that won't change anytime soon. My score pick, 45-21, Tennessee wins that one. Number 2, Ohio State at number 13, Penn State. That's a 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. C.J. Stroud, one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He'll compete against a talented defense starring Brown and linebacker Carter. The Big Ten bout is the game of the week with both teams fighting for the number 1 spot in the conference. Penn State looked convincing as Big Ten competitors early in the season, but reality hit when the Michigan Wolverines came to visit 2 weeks ago. The Nittany Lions have a great roster, but it won't be enough to stop an explosive Buckeyes offense, even inside of Beaver Stadium. My score pick is 38-28, Ohio State beating Penn State. Florida at number 1, Georgia, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. Stetson Bennett and the Bulldogs are number 1, and there's a reason for that. They're not the dominant force the college football world witnessed last season, but they're headed for another trip to the CFP if they keep this pace going. Georgia can't afford to drop its first game of the season against a poor Florida team that struggled all year. The Bulldogs will secure another win at home without a scratch. The only way the Gators can leave the state of Georgia with a victory is if quarterback Anthony Richardson has the game of his career this weekend, which is unlikely, even though I am rooting for the guy. Georgia 44, Florida 23 in my mind. The best of the rest. What else do we got going on? Let's take a quick look through some of these games. San Diego State at Fresno State, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. I think Fresno will win that one 27-21. Toledo, the Rockets at Eastern Michigan, battling the Eagles. Definitely going to be Toledo in this one, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. I'm thinking 33-19, Rockets win. Robert Morris at Appalachian State, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. I think App is going to win that one 41-10. Coastal Carolina at Marshall. That's a 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. I'm going with the Chanticleers 27-23, and Chattanooga at Furman 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. I'm taking the Mocs 41-10. Boy, have they been hot in FCS play. Results and picks from last week. I called for the Ravens, Bucks, Bengals, Dallas, Jaguars, Titans, Packers, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs to win. I went 7-5 on my picks. I'm overall 54-29 picking NFL games on the season. So let's get right into it with picks. Denver Broncos, the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Denver and Jacksonville have a 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kick in London. There's a neutral element to this matchup, so the Broncos have yet to win a game away from their home turf at Empower Field at Mile High. I really wouldn't bet on this one. It's kind of a strange matchup. Russell Wilson's arm and mobility may be limited or compromised, which isn't good for the league's lowest scoring offense. As for the Jaguars, they've lost by 8 points or fewer in 4 consecutive weeks. Travis Etienne has exploded onto the NFL scenes, averaging over 7 yards per carry in his last 3 games. He'll help the Jaguars to victory 21-16 on Sunday, as far as I'm concerned. Next up, New England Patriots at New York Jets. I'm taking the Pats. The New York Jets continue breathing down the necks of the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. They're going to face some adversity here, though. I think they're really going to struggle. The Green Gang lost their rookie running back, Breece Hall. He tore his ACL, and they also lost Vera Tucker, a torn tricep, up on the offensive line. So that's going to really change the dynamic of their offense. Zach Wilson threw for 261 yards and 4 interceptions in 2 games against the Patriots last season. He has to get over that hurdle against New England to give the Jets a chance to win this game. But New England has tabbed Mac Jones as the starter for this contest. I think they're going to win behind his arm. 24-20 is my score pick in that one. Pittsburgh Steelers, here we go, at Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. I think the Eagles are going to win. Jalen Hurts is too high-powered. The Steelers have to take the good with the bad as rookie first-round quarterback Kenny Pickett learns on the job. Since Pickett took over for Mitch Trubisky, he's thrown for 770 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions with a 68.5% completion rate. You can see the positives and the negatives in his game, but I don't think it's going to be enough for this weekend. A majority of the guys I know are back in the Eagles who are coming off a bye week. They're well prepared for this matchup. They've got a mostly healthy roster. Philadelphia has a new pass rusher in Robert Quinn, who they acquired on Wednesday. So I think that's going to help, new bodies to pursue Pickett back in the pocket. I think the Eagles win this one 31-17. Chicago Bears at Dallas Cowboys. It's kind of an interesting one. I'm taking Dallas. The Bears are going into Jerry's world on a psychological high after upsetting New England 33-14. But man, I don't think they've got what it's going to take. Dallas is going to go with a ground and pound approach. I think the Bears have the 29th ranked run defense. Prescott will progress further away from surgery again this week and get a little bit better. If the Cowboys don't get too many explosive plays through the air, the Bears will hang around with their run game and lose by a touchdown or so. And Ezekiel Elliott has a sprained knee, but I just don't see them having the juice they need to win that one. Miami Dolphins at Detroit Lions. That's going to be an interesting one. Through the first 7 weeks, the Dolphins have gone 4-1 when Tua Tagovailoa starts under center. In 3 of those games, the Dolphins covered the spread, pulling off upsets against the Ravens, the Bills, and back-to-back contests, but he exited the Cincinnati Bengals game in the first quarter because of a concussion and has struggled since, and the team has struggled since. So Tagovailoa has performed really well this season. He's grinded out 4 wins as a starter. His supporting cast, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, will allow the Dolphins to send the Lions further into that downward spiral. And, the public money is on the Dolphins, so I'm feeling it. I think it'll be close. I'm going to say 35-30 in that one. Miami wins it. Arizona Cardinals at Minnesota Vikings. I'm taking the Vikes. The Cardinals have missed their 3-time All-Pro wideout DeAndre Hopkins, who made his 2022 season debut after serving a 6-game suspension for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. In Week 7 against the Saints, he hauled in 10 out of 14 targets for 103 yards and helped the Cards to a 42-34 win. The Cardinals defense had a good performance too. Its last outing with pick sixes on consecutive drives. Hopkins is back. He's strong alongside Robbie Anderson, who can take the top off of defense. Arizona should be able to move the ball against Minnesota's 28th ranked pass defense, but I don't think it's enough. I think the Vikings will have tightened up through the bye week. Their pass defense will come out on an off week on a tear. I'm calling it 28-23. Vikings win in that one. Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Got Cardinals on the brain after that pick. This matchup won't give many headlines, but the outcome may change the complexion of the NFC South standings. The Panthers look to go 3-0 against NFC South opponents in a matchup with the Falcons, who would move into first place in the division if they win, and the Buccaneers lose to the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday night. If Carolina wins and Tampa Bay loses, the Panthers would pull into a first place via tiebreaker, even if the New Orleans Saints beat the Las Vegas Raiders. Why? Because Carolina beat New Orleans in Week 3. So interesting stuff there. The Falcons are banged up. A.J. Terrell, D. Alford, both are nursing hamstring injuries. I'm feeling the Falcons in this one, though. They've got great offensive playmakers. Marcus Mariota has 2 young pass catchers at his disposal. Kyle Pitts is looking great. Drake London. I think they can take over a game, and they're going to this week. 30-24, my score pick in that one. Las Vegas Raiders at New Orleans Saints. I'm taking the Raiders. The Saints are tied for 4th in yards per play, and the Raiders list 7th in that statistical category. On the flip side, the Silver and Black ranks 26th in points allowed, but New Orleans is worse than Las Vegas when it comes to giving up scores, so I'm just really not feeling it. Raiders kicker Daniel Carson is a perfect 16 of 16 on field goal attempts. It's just the little things in this one, so I think they're going to win it by a field goal. My pick is 34-31. Raiders win that one. Tennessee Titans at Houston Texans. I'm taking the Titans. How does a 4-2 squad on a 4-game winning streak only get 2 points against a club with the league's second worst record? It's a 2-point spread in favor of the Titans. For starters, quarterback Ryan Tannehill has an ankle injury. He wore a walking boot after the team's Week 7 win over the Indianapolis Colts. He had to briefly come out of the game for a medical check, but he came back in and finished the contest. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Malik Willis may have to play if Tannehill doesn't suit up. Houston gave up 143 yards and 3 touchdowns to Raiders running back Josh Jacobs last week. So just think about what the 2-time rushing champion could do. I mean, if Henry runs for more than 150 yards, the Titans will win decisively, but I don't think he'll do that. So my score pick right now is 24-20 in that one. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the quarterbacks. It'll be interesting to see how hot Henry is coming out of the gate. New York Giants at Seattle Seahawks. The Giants are 6-1 in a matchup between 2 surprisingly great teams. Very pleasantly surprising. The Seahawks lead the NFC West with Geno Smith under center. The Giants have eclipsed their win total from the previous season by 2 victories already. This matchup will come down to one late-game mistake. New York has turned the ball over just once over the last 3 weeks. Seattle has committed at least 1 turnover in every game this season. With that statistical tidbit, I'm kind of favoring the Giants right here, especially since this looks like it'll be a close game. I'm going to pick it real close, 26-24. Giants win that one. San Francisco 49ers at Los Angeles Rams. I'm taking the 49ers. The LA Rams will look to even their season series of the 49ers, whom they lost to 24-9 in Week 4. I don't know. The 49ers are looking good. They've got Christian McCaffrey. He's going to get a bigger load in his second game with the team. If that's the case, he could rack up 100-plus scrimmage yards because of his dual threat capability. Kyle Shanahan will be able to create some really interesting mismatches against LA. I think it'll be a close game. I'm taking the 49ers 24-21. Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow lit up the Falcons' defense, preventing the NFC South club from covering the spread for the first time this season. After a rough opener against the Steelers, Burrow has distributed the ball really well. He's had a great, efficient hand. He's thrown 13 touchdowns since that Week 1 game and just 1 pick. So I think the Bengals are going to stay hot. Lots of public money on Cincinnati. They're 4-1, straight up 5-0 against the spread. Meanwhile, the Browns have dropped 4 consecutive games, and Jacoby Brissett hasn't produced enough offense to win ball games. The bold point is clear here. These guys were Super Bowl contenders last year. Joe Burrow and company get the job done. He's already got 2,000 plus yards and 15 touchdowns through the air this season. So I'm feeling Joey Burrow. 28-24 going to be my score pick in that one. All right, let's take a look at some of these clips of the week, and I'll just get right into it.
Bucks in an NFC South matchup.
Brady fires downfield, and the pass is bobbled and dropped.
Pain. Absolute pain. Can you imagine? How much is Mike Evans' contract for? How do you make it to the National Football League and drop a wide open pass? I mean, it happens. It happens. I don't want to be too critical. I couldn't run that fast ever in my life. That's brutal. You hate to see it. Hopefully he gets it together. Obviously, the Bucks have enough struggles going on, so that's the last thing they needed.
I'm from the Bay Area, but when I look around the stands and I see that these motherfuckers, these.
You love to see it, Marshawn Lynch letting the F word slip on air.
Oh my gosh. Talk to me, dirty corn dogs. Are we on?
I can't tell if he knew he was on or not. That's my question here. Did he know they were on and he just said that as a joke? Or did he not know they were on?
Not even close.
This is absolutely brutal. This announcer was really professional. Weber State, Montana State. 4 safeties in one game. And that's a new FCS record. Montana State coming away with a 43-38 victory thanks to those 4 safeties surrendered by Weber State. All of them on an errant long snap on a would-be punt. I mean, that is just absolutely brutal, at least as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully they can bounce back and don't set any more records like that. Just remember, if you want to watch those clips of the week and you're tuned in on Spotify or Anchor FM, visit WBSNSports.com or cut out the middleman. Go right to our YouTube channel, Win Big Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Gabriel Schrei. We'll catch you next time. Be sure to follow along at WBSN Sports.